Hi, welcome to our presentation. Thank you so much for joining us. We're excited that you have taken the time to come and learn more about Macaulay. My name is Luke Haywood. I'm the admissions counselor here. I'm here with a student, Raj, who you'll meet a little bit later. And we're going to be talking today about what exactly is Macaulay Honors College, giving you a little bit about the history of the Honors College, giving you an understanding of our campus partnerships, our benefits, how you can qualify yourself to be a part of this Honors College. And we'll be taking questions as we present. So feel free to give us your questions and we'll be happy to get to them closer to the end of the presentation. So imagine attending one of the top colleges in the nation. We believe Macaulay Honors is that place, but we'll tell you a little bit more as we go. So Macaulay Honors is really geared to high achieving students. We offer high achieving students transformative opportunities to really maximize their potential beyond which they could ever imagine. Macaulay Honors is a consortium of 8 CUNY campuses that house the students in those 8 locations. Those campuses are Baruch, Brooklyn, City, Hunter, Lehman, Queens, College of Staten Island, and guess who joined us a year ago? John Jay College of Criminal Justice. We're happy that they're a part of the Macaulay family. So if you're interested in uh, uh, criminal justice or similar majors, you now have an option through Macaulay to go to that campus. You're actually the one that chooses which campus you're interested in attending in our application process, but we'll get to that. So when did Macaulay start? In 2001, Chancellor Goldstein launched the Honors College, and it really has helped to fulfill CUNY's mission, not just of access to higher education, but to excellence. We are the flagship program of the university, and we want to make sure that you high achievers, the ones who have great options of going to some of the best colleges in America, know that Macaulay could be a perfect fit for you and how we could meet your academic goals, right? So in 2008, we were fortunate to get a generous donation by Bill and Linda Macaulay. They actually gave us the donation a few years earlier, but we acquired this beautiful building on West 67th Street, which really gave us a sense of place. So, yes, our students are on 8 campuses pursuing their majors there, but then there's this community place where they all come together for different reasons. Sometimes a course, sometimes a common event, activity, concerts, etc. And you'll learn from Raj today a little bit more of how he really balances that dual identity of being a City College student. He's a junior there um, as a physics and math major, but how he really balances being a Macaulay honors student and capitalizing on our entire community. Here's a quick word from our dean, Dean Ann Kirshner. So you heard from our dean. I'm sure you could count the number of times she said yes, because we're just that kind of place. We're really looking to help students maximize their potential and their options, and willing to really advance their career path here. But Macaulay Honors is very popular for the investment package, as it were, that we really give to each qualified New York State applicant. If you're outside of New York State, you get most of these benefits with the exception of a full tuition scholarship. So the full tuition scholarship is our number one benefit, as you could see there, followed by our free Mac laptop that we provide every accepted student. We also give them an opportunities fund in the amount of $7,500 for study abroad, research projects, unpaid internships. We'll develop these points as we go through our presentation, but this is just a quick snapshot of the benefits, the material ones that is, of being a Macaulay student. Um, you get a cultural passport. It gives you access to museums, exhibits, Broadway shows, the opera, all the cultural venues and activities you can think of this great city. You get individualized mentoring, which is less tangible, but really the highlight of this opportunity. We'll talk more about that. And a very special academic program that's specific to Macaulay Honor students on their campus, right? For those who are out of state, our tuition is about $16,000 per year, very affordable, and the benefits of being a Macaulay student are so much greater than any tuition benefit, but we'll talk more about that. Let's move on. Um, let's look at a quick quote from Mila. She says, Macaulay lifted any financial burden off my shoulders, and this allowed me to work in as many companies as I did. So here is the concept not just of free, but freedom. She was able to explore multiple opportunities because she wasn't bogged down thinking about costs. How about academics? We are the Macaulay Honor Scholars. So you want to make sure as a high achieving student that when you come to college, you really are challenged and given an opportunity to maximize your professional and career interests, right? Now, Macaulay, within your goals, we really want to make sure that you get a broad-based liberal arts education. So we offer some very beautiful interdisciplinary seminars focused on New York City. Only Macaulay students take these courses on their campus. They are the arts in New York City, peopling of New York City, science and technology in New York City, and then the shaping the future of New York City seminar. Raj will probably touch on a little bit of some of what he did in his courses on his campus and what really was his highlight. Do bear in mind that we have over 400 majors across our 8 campuses. So you really have a lot of options. You just have to pick the best campus that would be suited to you. So let's hear from our Dean of Academic Affairs, and she can really give you a better concept of the academics at Macaulay. Wonderful. That last student, Ori, also won one of our most prestigious awards, the Truman Award, and she's traveled the world extensively as a Macaulay student. And guess what? She was from Florida, an out-of-state applicant. We got a question coming in that I'll address really quickly. The student asked, if I go to Baruch, will I be able to take classes at the Baruch Business School? Absolutely. As a Macaulay student, you have access to any course of study on your campus. But listen what this student said about Macaulay. I created my own environmental sciences major, combining courses across CUNY. So guess what? If you can't really fit into a specific major that we have, and truly we have over 400, guess what? You can create your own. And you can really construct that with the help of your director and advisor on your campus, and you'll get the support to really explore different courses on multiple campuses, right? But this is the magic of Macaulay. We have an immersive and personalized education, right? So our students are just not a number on the campus. They really get a personalized experience. This is what Hada said. There is no cookie cutter experience at Macaulay. Each student brings different skills and strengths to the table, and the administration provides for this extraordinary student diversity. Through immersive coursework, social action projects, and leadership and fellowship opportunities, every student is given the chance to grow in the way that works best for them. Isn't that great? Right? If you really think of immersive as defined by Mike Lamb, our Associate Director of Immersive and Personalized Education, immersive really suggests that what we do at school should be engaged with the world outside. Personalized means that we invite students to refine their singularities to become themselves. So we really want to give you an opportunity instead of setting up a system that has been around for over a century that says, here, I'm the teacher, I know it all, I'll talk to you and give you all the facts. Our students are scholars. They participate in a discussion, in a learning experience that really allows them to exercise their leadership skills. You'll meet Rad soon. He's right here. Right? Here's another great quote that really highlights the advantage that students have on their campus. Macaulay's first day registration privileges have allowed me to take every course I wanted with the professors and times I wanted, even as a freshman. Isn't that amazing? Guess what the parent of this student says? Where Macaulay sets itself apart from other colleges, its ability to ensure that your child receives the utmost in guidance, attention, and access to resources, enabling him or her to stand out instead of being merely another student on a prestigious campus. Right? So that's pretty amazing coming from a parent of one of our students. So then there's technology. You all get a free Mac laptop. It's not just a cool tool that we give you. We really do want to make sure that we are integrating technology with learning, and it's a real focus here at Macaulay. So hear more about that. Great. Then there's New York City. Well, we don't have to sell New York City. New York City sells itself. But outside of other great schools that are in New York, this is the only one I know that gives you a cultural passport, an ID card practically that gives you access to over 125 cultural venues here in New York. So it's a little different when you get the keys to the city, this great, beautiful, diverse city. So let's talk a little bit more about the Opportunities Fund. I know, Neil, you asked a question about what are the monetary benefits of Macaulay. So we covered the fact that we offer a full tuition scholarship to students who are New York State residents. But then every student, irrespective of where they come from across the country or the world, they get to tap into our Opportunities Fund. This is $7,500 over the course of 4 years that you have access to. So no, we don't give you a check so you can go shopping on Fifth Avenue, but you surely could use these resources for academically enriching experiences, some of which include study abroad, unpaid internships. In other words, if you're at a law firm, yes, they get free labor while you get to build your resume and experience. We will actually pay you a stipend out of your Opportunities Fund while you're in an unpaid internship. Maybe you want to do research. Maybe you want to put together your own project and work on it. Maybe it'll cost a little bit of money. We will support that. Maybe you want to do some prep tests for grad school. You want to take the LSATs, the GREs, the GMATs. Uh, Guess what? We'll pay for prep courses. We'll pay for your application fees for grad school PhD programs, right? So this is the sort of monetary support that we provide our students through the Opportunities Fund. Sorry that that page is a little blurry, but guess what? You'll hear from Raj pretty soon as to maybe how he intends to use his or has already begun to use it. So here's a quick video, I believe our last video for the day, that really highlights the financial support in its entirety from Macaulay. Right. So let's talk quickly about the study abroad portion of that opportunities fund in terms of usage. You don't have to study abroad, but 80% of our students study abroad at least once. We've touched every continent with the exception of Antarctica. Most popular spots still include Italy, France, Greece, Australia, the Galapagos, South Africa, India, China, Japan, Turkey, Mexico, Caribbean islands, right? So you really could choose from a large list that we ourselves have here at Macaulay, but then you could possibly explore other choices that another college might be offering and will still help connect you to those opportunities and support you financially for that experience. All right? Internships, we covered that a little bit in terms of the cost part of it. If you're going to get uh, if you're in an unpaid internship, the Opportunities Fund will cover you with a stipend. But why an internship? Why is that so important for students? Like internships a lot of times are the first foot in the door to a career opportunity. This is where our students really have an example of experiential learning. They're in those places, in those fields, getting the skills that they need to find out, is this really for me? Sometimes it's not a positive experience, and that's why it's important to test it out before you actually go fully into a career path. And our students get a newsletter every Monday called Macaulay Monday, and it's filled with opportunities of what's going on different campuses, what are the companies that are looking to have our students come on board for an internship. So we're really plugged into making sure our students get internships. It's practically required of our students. So you'll be sure to be involved in that at Macaulay, right? Then we're about creating change in the world. We really love students who are service oriented. Yes, you get all of this great stuff, but how are you paying this forward? How are you, really helping someone else? All right. So our students are naturally giving, volunteering type of students. They're required to do 30 hours of volunteer or community service work over their 4 years, which practically is a joke. Most of our students way exceed that just on their own without that requirement. So we encourage that a lot. Of course, if you're coming into Macaulay, we'll be looking for students who are similar to our current students. So don't hold back from getting involved in community service events, right? This is what one student really said. I'm not sure if you can read that quote, but the student practically said that he went to give to a community, but he learned so much about himself from that experience, right? So it's life changing, it's life altering. Some of these experiences, study abroad, community service, internships, you don't even know how you'll be impacted until you're in it, right? So how has Macaulay succeeded over the years, right? Prestigious fellowships and scholarships, 85 plus in the last few years. That's a lot. These are students winning some of the most competitive fellowships in the world, right? We're talking about fellowships like the Rhodes, probably the most sought after fellowship in the world, full ride to Oxford for grad school, right? We've had two recipients in the past few years. Only 32 people in the nation win that fellowship every year. President Clinton, for example, was a Rhodes Scholar, right? So if Macaulay students are getting the preparation, the academic support to compete with any students across the country, why wouldn't this be a great fit for you? Look at it, 46 recipients overall within CUNY, 9 Macaulay students who have won the Fulbright, right? The National Science Foundation Grant Research Fellowship, 10 Macaulay students. That's $120,000 per student who wins that award, right? A Truman Fellowship, top 5 in the world. 6 scholars, 5 of them Macaulay, have won a Truman Fellowship to support their grad school work, right? So these are some of the success parameters that you can really use to measure an institution. How are we at creating success? How are our students succeeding? Macaulay students are doing tremendously well, right? Life after Macaulay. People want to know, what is the Macaulay alumni network like? Where are they? What are they doing? right? Here are a few med schools that our students have already attended and graduated. Not a bad list, you know, if you scan through it really quickly, right? Here are some of the law schools that our students have graduated from. Not a bad list, I might say here, right? So these are the places we connected to, grad schools, PhD programs included in this list, right? How do we do this? Of course, we have really bright students, but then we give them the skills and the support necessary to achieve their goals. We a lot of times invite these colleges to come and meet our students here at Macaulay for med school workshops or law school workshops, etc. All right. So our alumni network is growing, and guess what? Because these students have had such a phenomenal experience, guess what? They want to give back. You know, they've been given so much that they're always looking for the next Macaulay student to help. They have peer mentorship programs. They meet multiple times per year as an alumni community, right? They're in prestigious jobs and positions in business, in the public sector, in the medical sector, the legal, you name it, the education sector. They're all over, and their hands stretched out waiting for the next Macaulay kid to come on board their company. It's a very vibrant community. Look out for that, right? What else do we have? Where are students working? A lot of our students, 40% of them or so, go straight into grad school, right? 80% of our students, by the time 2 years after graduating, are either in grad school or working, right? So those are good numbers to check. These are some of the top places where our students are employed. But of course, there's a more extensive list on our website, and you can always call us to get more. It's a little blurry here, but it says over 80% of Macaulay alumni in the workforce are employed in New York at some of these top firms that are listed there. Right, that too is on our website. It's part of a fact sheet, a PDF that you can download in the About Us tab of our website. Now let's look at this. Let's imagine again. Imagine selecting those majors. Imagine having that strong academic curriculum. Imagine a course of study customized to your goal, right? Imagine interning at the top companies across the city and the globe. Imagine a place big enough for ambition and personalized enough for friendship, right? Imagine a community of like-minded peers ready to make their mark on the world, just like you. Imagine graduating debt-free, right? Very few students could say that when they graduate college. That place is Macaulay Honors, no question about it, right? So it's now 4:30. I'm practically at the end of my segment. This is how you could contact us. We are live on our chat right now. We have three wonderful students, Sabina, Ashley, Hillary, and one of my colleagues, Charmaine, are on the chat right now, ready to answer your question if you're in the chat section of our presentation, right? These are ways to get in touch with us. Our prospective student page is where you can find our info sessions and events. We have an info session at Macaulay next week. You want to get on our Macaulay Facebook page, you can see the link right below there, so that you can be kept in the loop of what's going on. So let me hand it over really quickly to Raj. He's an amazing junior here, very actively involved in our community, doing a bunch of things and really working hard academically as well. So here's Raj.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Raj Basak. I am a junior at the City College of New York, the Macaulay Honors College campus. I major in physics and mathematics. And it's a real pleasure of mine to speak on behalf of Macaulay and share some of my experiences with you. To begin, I went to New Rochelle High School in Westchester, a very large high school, and I chose Macaulay for several reasons, the least of which was financial the financial package that they offer. The more important aspect to me was Macaulay. When I applied and when I was accepted, I found a real community within Macaulay. When you come into the Macaulay Honors College building, there are students from all the 8 campuses gathered in the lounge or in the cabaret at all times, interacting, socializing, doing problem sets together, singing, there was a real sense of community. So in a sense, you're attending one of the largest colleges in the largest university systems in the nation, and yet you're part of this very small, tight-knit community within the larger CUNY system with very few students, most of which you'll probably encounter at some point during your experience here. So that really drew me to Macaulay. Um, Next, I found that upon applying, the administration and the faculty members were very receptive to all the ideas of the students. Since Macaulay is a relatively new school, there was a lot of room for creating. So, simply in my 3 years here, several student initiatives have started, including a Macaulay Quidditch Club, an a cappella group, a debate club, a mathematics team, a global medical brigades, and so many different opportunities that are created by students for the Macaulay community with active involvement from the faculty and administration. And I found that the administration works very closely with their students to make all their ideas come to fruition. Furthermore, what drew me to Macaulay as a student going in was I had access to more than one resource. So if you attend one of the largest senior colleges, you have the larger network of that senior college. In my case, the City College of New York has extensive record of many faculty members, prize winners that work there and are willing to help you advance, excuse me, in your career and other opportunities. At the same time, there's a completely separate network available only to you as a Macaulay Honors College student through personal advising, through online registration of classes on the first day, which is a huge deal in a large university system. You can take any class you want because you are one of the first people to register, and believe me, within the second or third day, it's almost impossible to register for a class because they fill up so quickly. So these are the three most important things that I found that Macaulay offered me as an incoming freshman, and certainly met my expectations. Um, Furthermore, the majors, as Mr. Haywood spoke of, there are literally any major imaginable you can find here at Macaulay, since you can take classes not only at your home campus, but at any of the 8 campuses within Macaulay and excuse me, and other community colleges if necessary. So, for instance, I have a friend who could not find the right major, so he created his own major by splicing various classes from Hunter College, Queens College, the City College, and John Jay to create his own major termed developmental economics. And this opportunity is very unique to Macaulay because the resources of all these 8 colleges can be combined to create your experience. Also, I'd like to speak a little bit about the student involvement and the extracurricular involvement of students here at Macaulay. Macaulay really emphasizes students to get involved outside of the academic coursework. So the internships are uh, a very integral part of Macaulay. So every student at some point in their during the tenure at Macaulay interns either with a university, with a professor, or with a company, and this really gives you a hands-on experience on where your career is headed, if this is for you or not. Furthermore, there are so many internships that Macaulay Honors College students have been doing for so long that if any one student wants to take up that internship, the process of getting it is rather easy, and at least applying and competing is made a lot easier for an honors college student. Next, straying away from academics and internships, there's a vibrant student life here at Macaulay. So if you like singing or if you like music, there's always something for you here. If you like to debate, there's something for you here. If you're someone that really likes to do research, there's something for you here. If you're someone that wants to organize a film festival or wants to help create a better film festival, there's something for you here. For instance, we have something called the City University Film Festival, which is run by a Macaulay Honors College student, Mr. Tom Flynn, who and basically, the purpose of the film festival is to accept films from all of our students in CUNY and air them in a private movie theater, which is on the second floor of the Macaulay Honors College building, and then have a discussion about the movie, have a discussion with various other movie makers that are present throughout the states. They're brought in for talks and workshops, etc. Next, I myself am part of an a cappella group at Macaulay, which recently won numerous accolades at the International Championship of Collegiate A Cappella. So this group, called the Macaulay Triplets, is only one of many student clubs. This particular group has 13 to 15 people at any given time that are accepted through an audition, and then this group in particular meets twice a week and rehearses and performs throughout the East Coast. In the last 2 years, we've performed at Carnegie Hall, Lincoln Center, and various venues throughout New York City, Boston, and upstate New York. Next, there is the Global Medical Brigades, which is a service-oriented extracurricular club, and every year the Global Medical Brigades organize a trip to Panama, where they essentially go to Panama and they do community service work, whether it's building houses, whether it's helping out in schools and medical facilities, etc. And most of these students involved in the medical brigades are pre-medical students, but there are also students that are just very involved in servicing their communities and giving back. So the Global Medical Brigades is another very large club. Then there's other clubs that probably are not available in high school, such as the Macaulay Marauders Quidditch team, which is actually a very big thing in the university system, I guess, in the United States. Almost every major college that I can think of has a Quidditch team, and there's the IQA, the International Quidditch Association, and this is more of like a recreational, fun, but very competitive sport. And the Macaulay Honors College team, the Macaulay Marauders, will be competing in the Quidditch World Cup this year, which will be held at Myrtle Beach, versing against several schools, you name it, throughout the country. Next, we have the Macaulay Dancers, which are a very eclectic bunch of dancers, all with their unique style, that come together and rehearse to put on a performance at the end of every spring semester or fall semester. You name it, there's so many other clubs. What am I missing? Let's see, we have the Macaulay Gastronomy Club, which is a club oriented towards learning about the diversity of food and the art of cooking and presentation. This is one of the most popular clubs in Macaulay. They host formals every semester, where students come in, sample the various foods from so many different cultures, learn about their origins, learn about their history. It's a real fun thing to do. Then there's many other things that you might find at other colleges too. For instance, there's a Macaulay formal at the end of every year, where nearly all students dress up and go to a dance, either held at City College or John Jay, where all these students get together and have a good time at the end of every year. So those are just some of the many student initiatives that are here at Macaulay and that are only growing. Um, I think there's a question that asks, what is the most popular major at Macaulay? I think I will defer that to Luke, but I can certainly answer that would probably differ from campus to campus. Certainly at the City College campus, which is the only campus with the engineering school, one of the all types of engineering majors are very popular at City College. If you're at Hunter, I believe it's biology, but I'm going to let Luke answer that in a little bit more
Sure.
detail before I come back.
Right. So I would say we have our most popular majors in our fact sheet online, but really in the sciences, you'll find a lot of students in the health sciences and business probably make up the majority of our Macaulay students here. But let me go really quickly. I'm sure some of you want to know how competitive Macaulay is, how to put together an application that really puts you in a good position to be accepted. What are we looking for in an applicant? So here is that. Probably about 5,700 applications come in every year. So that covers the question that just came in about how many people apply. We generally accept just under 20% of those who apply are admitted. That can change year to year based on the growing number of applications that we receive every year. By the way, this Saturday is actually when we're sending out our decisions by email. So if you're a senior and you're already applied and you're waiting for a decision, good luck. We wish you the best. If you are a junior, guess what? Next year this time, you'll be having your fingers crossed too. Right? So what are we looking for? We're looking for a 90 plus average student, generally unweighted. We kind of calculate our own average looking at the basic subject areas that all high schools do. Then we look at testing. So if you do the ACT out of 36 students, that looks good in our eyes, probably is ranging from a 28 and higher on the ACT, and that is only averaging the math and the English section, right? So not verbal, math and English section for ACT. For SAT, we're looking anywhere a 1200 and higher is pretty okay. It's pretty good out of 1600. So again, this time only looking at math and critical reading combines, right? So out of 1600, we're looking for a 1200 and higher. This is where the average accepted student falls. Just about a 32 ACT, just about a 1400, 1410 SAT, about a 93, 94 average. So that's just the mean accepted profile of someone getting into Macaulay. But we're a very holistic review process. We pride ourselves in that. We're a lot more than just numbers. If you have the greatest numbers in the world, you're probably just 50% of the way there. We're looking strongly at leadership, involvement, service. We just want to know who you are as an individual, how you would fit with our community. Does our community fit you? Right? So how do we know that? Essays and recommendations, right? We require 2 essays out of 3 options that we provide. We actually, because you're on this presentation, we'll send you the essays in the summer. So you can actually get a head start even before our application goes live come September 1st. So our Macaulay prospective student page is where you can press that apply button, but only in September. All right. December 1st generally is our deadline date. It could vary year to year depending on when December 1st falls. This year it was December, last year it was December 2nd because I believe it fell on a Sunday. December 1st fell on a Sunday. But do check our prospective student page for those details. But again, we look for a holistic applicant, essays, which I covered, and then recommendations. All right. We require 2 recommendations. You can submit more. And why are essays and recommendations so important? Essays, for sure, they're extremely unique to you. Nobody is going to write your essays the way you do about your experiences. So it really is your best bet of showing us who you are as against every other applicant we receive. Recommendations should come from people who actually like you. Yes, that's funny, but it's a no-brainer. Find people who really will spend the time, who you know will write about a page worth of good qualities and experiences that they've had with you. It could be a combination of academic or extracurricular. It's totally up to you. There's no cookie cutter way of getting into Macaulay. It's not an equation. It's not a 1+2 thing. It's really you just putting your best foot forward and giving us the best possible picture of you as a person. I would say the next best thing to do outside of what I already mentioned, which is to get on those links like our website, get on the prospective student page and RSVP right now for an info session posted there. Get on our Facebook page so you find out updates as they occur. Maybe the essays will come out earlier than I thought. Guess what? We'll post it to our Facebook page, right? So these are the ways to connect with us. You had a question?
I think people need to know
Sure.
about that.
Sure, sure. Tell them about
So
the
I
academic aspect.
elaborated a lot on the extracurricular opportunities available here at Macaulay, but I would like to tell you about some of the very nuanced academic coursework that you can take here at Macaulay. For instance, I'm part of something called the Hertog Scholars Program, which is a program unique to Macaulay students that immerses students in a series of 6 seminars focused around economics, philosophy, and history and literature, and the relationship between them throughout the years. And this is a voluntary program that only students that are interested apply to when they're accepted into Macaulay. But it is one of the most rigorous, one of the most amazing experiences that I have had here at Macaulay. As a physics and mathematics major, this program gave me the opportunity to take classes that I would otherwise not have the opportunity to take or learn about just because of the sheer requirements that each major or each department places on every student's shoulders. So that is something very unique to Macaulay. Next, the 4 seminars that we mentioned earlier are required of every student, and they are amazing seminars for a multitude of reasons. Uh, Most important being they're very interdisciplinary. So my first semester at Macaulay, or every student's first semester at Macaulay, they're required to take a seminar called The Arts in New York City. And this seminar focuses primarily on the artistic endeavors of the people of New York City and how there's so many opportunities for people to explore themselves and the work of the artists in New York City. That was probably the first time um, I and many others in my class had ever been to the uh, Metropolitan Opera. Um, the Met, which was an incredible experience where we saw Le Noche del Figaro, and we learned a lot about the art of opera and the performers and how they trained for it. It was an amazing experience. We also saw ballet. We saw several Broadway shows just to expose ourselves to the multitude of opportunities and cultural endeavors here in New York City. The next seminar, I believe, which was the Peopling of New York, focuses on the diversity of New York in terms of its people coming from so many different places, and New York City truly is probably the most diverse city in the world. And we studied all these different cultures and how different cultures inhabit various neighborhoods within Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, and how this has changed how New York has been over the years. The seminar after that was Science in New York City, where we studied the various technological advances that have been taking place in New York City and how to secure the future of New York City in terms of the technology needed to keep up with, let's say, the demands on energy, waste disposal, etc. And each class is taught by faculty members at each institution who specialize in their own field. For instance, my class was taught by a professor of physics who knew a lot about the whole about the various waste disposal facilities in Manhattan and how they function and how to optimize them. And the last course is The Future of New York City, which is more of a sociology-oriented class, in which we study a multitude of subjects on how to secure the future and where New York City is headed and what are the things that are needed to fix New York City, both as leaders and citizens. And these seminars were so interesting because they covered such a broad range of subjects, a very diverse set of readings and experiences that you would probably not get in any other course within any college. So those seminars are very, very exciting. Next, the Macaulay Monday, which we also mentioned, blasts out so many opportunities every single Monday, whether it be research opportunities, internship opportunities, or simply student events happening at Macaulay. And students really take advantage of the Macaulay Monday to gain internships and positions at various places or even attend student events. I myself spend last summer at Brown University through an advertisement that I saw in the Macaulay Monday for a REU, Research Experiences for Undergraduates, which is open to all students, but I would not have heard of it if the Macaulay Monday had not blasted out a email listing out all the various experiences. That just covers a small amount of my academic and extracurricular experiences, and if you have any other questions, please feel free to contact Luke or the admission staff here.
Yeah, I have a question I see here coming in from Amanda, and she really wants to know about how do I apply to Macaulay? Well, that's a great question. So the Macaulay application could be found on our website in September, and how it really works is that on our application, you can list up to 6 Macaulay campuses that you're interested in. Each of those campuses will give you a general admission decision to CUNY. They'll all say, here, you qualify or not to be enrolled as a general student at CUNY. Then a month later in March 15th, which is this Saturday for the seniors, they'll find out from one campus. Most times the first choice campus listed is the campus that looks at you specifically for Macaulay. 95% of the time that is the case. Now, that decision is a single decision that comes out on March 15th. So here, one application, 6 different choices, 6 potential general admission decisions, one Macaulay decision. Of course, the campus that accepts you to Macaulay, that's where you'll enroll. You can't move that admission to another campus. right? Another question coming in asks about what are regular classes like? You know, am I taking classes with general CUNY students? Absolutely. General CUNY students in these 8 campuses are some of the best and brightest scholars in the country. And because you get priority registration, guess what? You'll be potentially taking the best courses at the best times with the best professors. What does that mean? You get the best dibs. You really get an opportunity to be with the best practitioners in your field, learning from them in your classes. Most 65% of all classes within City University are 25 students and less. Isn't that something? Most Macaulay courses are 20 students and less in the class. I've been in honors classes when I was a student 10 years ago in the honors program in Brooklyn with 7 people in a class, right? It's not strange for you to be in a situation where you that get that much close contact with a professor and really get an enriching academic experience. So you will be challenged, and guess what? Because this is a supported environment. If we find that you're not getting challenged enough, guess what? Your advisor's doors are right there in your honors lounge on your campus. You go in and say, you know what? I want to be challenged some more. Guess what? We'll give you more challenging course loads probably the next semester. So it really is something that's customizable to you. If you're an athlete, I see a question coming in. You will be involved in whatever clubs and organizations that are on your campus. So let's say you're a Lehman College student. You could be a Lehman tennis player. You could be a Lehman musician, right? Although music might not be your major, you know. So you have probably 100+ organizations and clubs combined and sports teams all combined on every single campus that you can choose from, right? And then on top of that, you have beautiful Macaulay events and things where you come out of the general population to just be with Macaulay students across the different campuses. Someone asked about what are the main graduate schools, specifically med schools that our students get into. We covered that earlier, but here is a quick look for you, Hannah, some of the top med schools. And uh, Abigail was asking about when do I start applying? Well, the application process starts now. Like you're doing the correct thing. You're acquiring the information that you need to make a quality decision, and you should come out to an event that is posted to the prospective student page of our website, an info session or tour. We have info sessions once a month at Macaulay. Come to West 67th on the Upper West Side and get a hands-on experience with staff and students here. It's a beautiful brownstone and has a private movie theater, a cabaret performance space just for Macaulay students. You got to see for yourself, right? So I would say that's how you start preparing for the process. Come out, visit campuses that you're interested in of the 8 Macaulay campuses. Of course, keep your grades up. Do the necessary test preparation that you need because it's a crucial part of our evaluation process. We don't want you to be perfect in everything else and stumble in testing. So those are the ways in which you can prepare yourself. Get recommendations. Maybe right now, let them know I'm looking into colleges. I want you to write a recommendation for me. You know, could you do this for me during the summer? The earlier, the better, right? And our application only is available online come September 1st. You'll see that big red button on our Macaulay homepage come September to December, right? I believe we have 1 or 2 more questions coming in, so we'll answer those. Do I start applying as a junior or a senior? That's a great question. Only as a senior. So if you're a junior, it's a couple of months away. It's not that far. So September, you'll be a senior and you should apply as early as possible. You don't get an advantage or special perks for being the first person to submit. So do take your time and put together a quality application. So only seniors could apply, and we're only for students who are going to be a freshman for the first time. So if you're a transfer at another college and you're on this presentation, unfortunately, there are other opportunities that would fit you within the CUNY system, but Macaulay is only for freshmen. If you want to find out more about each campus, just go to the Macaulay website. Click the About Us tab and you'll see campuses listed, and you can click on each campus link on our homepage there, and you'll be directed to their campus specific information. Someone is asking about housing. What is housing like at Macaulay? Yes, you want to know. This is New York City, and a lot of our students travel from home to come to classes, but there are a lot of students as well who choose to dorm. They want that away experience while still being in this great big city. So you can have both. You could be away, technically, in a dorm, away from your parents' home, but guess what? Still in this big city. So every campus has housing options. That is listed on the prospective student page. The link is right there to the right. As you can see, the prospective student link is on the RSVP for one of our spring events. You'll not only find events listed there, you'll find out about housing to the left side of that page, right? So click on the housing link and you'll find out what housing is like on every one of our campuses, right? It looks like we're wrapping down. So if there are no more questions, we'll just say it was really a pleasure speaking with you this evening. You were a very captive audience, although I can't see you, and I hope to see you at one of our Macaulay events here. Maybe Raj could say a few words to wrap up.
I think Luke pretty much covered most of what there is to Macaulay, although you can never cover all the opportunities that one can find here. Last minute tips, I'd say definitely visit all the campuses that you are interested in before making a decision, especially research their academic programs. If you are interested in engineering, City College is the only place that offers engineering majors in mechanical engineering, biomedical engineering, chemical engineering, electrical engineering, computer engineering, all these things. If you're interested in a different field of study, say biology, chemistry, physics, and history or the humanities, almost all the colleges have these majors available. So be sure to visit these colleges and take a quick peek for the feel of the colleges and which one you think you'd have a best time at, which one would be the best fit for you. And that is all. I think it was a pleasure telling you about Macaulay, and good luck.
Good luck. Check out College of Staten Island too. They have a few engineering programs. If anyone is from Staten Island, don't be mad with us. We know you have engineering programs. So check that out. Take care. All the best.